And by the way, this is a vibration collar for anybody wondering. Believe me, look, if you guys don't believe me, I'm firmly against any kind of electric collar. Vibration is okay. Boost. Okay guys, so Nationals is next week. Gage and I are going to be heading out this coming weekend, and we're going to be going up to New Brunswick. Obviously, we're working on all 3 phases. You know, I injured myself, Gage injured himself slightly. He ripped his whole nail out, so I've been resting him a little bit, but now we got to get back into it. So you'll notice that we're training out here in the heat. Super important to acclimate your dog to the weather you're going to be trialing in, and you should be doing that well in advance of the trial, hopefully, so that you can minimize the impact extreme temperatures have on your dog in a working situation. I'm just taking my dog through the routine and, you know, building up to trial. Flats. We have ignition. Boost. Good. As engaged, checking in, IGP-3 obedience. Boost. Flats. It's important to practice the long down. I'm going to leave him in that down there while I get the field ready for my use, just so he gets used to working out of the long down. I notice he's licking his paw a little bit, so we'll watch that, and if it gets any worse. So I think the purpose of this session is really going to be to focus on the back half of the routine. I find that it makes training a little bit easier. Sometimes you work the whole thing. Sometimes you divide it into 2 pieces and just work one primarily. So you can see the dog's a little bit passive here. I'd like him to be a bit more active. Oh, yeah. What? And it's so important too that the dog activates himself, that you're not asking him to be active. He should just become naturally active as you come next to him. It's nice active behavior here. So we're just gonna go right into our retrieves right now. So I don't mind that he gets active here when I pick up the dumbbell, that's okay. But if he's a little too active, I'm gonna lose points there on the dog vocalizing. There's a line, you know, you can't make the dog crazy active, but he must be a little bit active. Sit. Bring. There, the pickup was a little bit wide, which is an on again, off again problem that we have. I can use some things to make it not wide. So let's say I threw the dumbbell completely against the fence. Of course, it's gonna make his turn sharper, but when the fence isn't there, he's gonna go back to the old way. The question always is, how much help do you use? Is it realistic to continue to use the help? Obviously, we always use some help in training. It's something that we must always keep in mind, right? Like, how much help? Is this productive? Is this gonna carry over to an actual trial situation? And I think the balance obviously is always a little bit different depending on the dogs. So I like him active, and I make him more active in training than I want him in trial, right? And there's a reason for that. Break. Break. There we go. You can see there, much better, right? So I can do that, and I think there is some utility to using help to make things better, but down. The problem is, if you always use that help and on trial day it's not there, a lot of the times that can actually really negatively impact the dog's performance because he's used to those crutches. Sit. Break. Break. So he's a little prey lock there, which is why he's a bit slow there. I could put some pressure to speed him up, or I could change my reward there a little bit to encourage that position. But for now, I'm just gonna move into the jump. I'm gonna give him a little space here on the jump. Up. Bring. Woo! I'd like a little more speed and power there, but I know if I riz him up too much with jumps, he's gonna start hitting. Generally, the faster the dog goes, the more mistakes they make. So I prefer that the dog is a little bit slower and a little bit more technically correct. That was a pretty good retrieve. I like that. Bring. Oh, sit. Up. Boost. Oh, yes, yes, good joy. Here. Boost. Oh, wow. It's a pretty good transition. We got to work a little bit more dumbbell out and then dog making that transition. Here. Yeah. Boost. Oh, wow! That was nice, man. Spin. That was such a good transition, I had to reward it. Oh my God, that was sexy. Sit, you see the difference? That one, he fully committed. I was not planning on reinforcing that. Let's practice switching the dumbbells. Now, I know you're supposed to switch before the jump. To be honest, I forgot to. Sit. Up. Bring. Sit. That time he touched me and he came a bit crooked. He's really tired now, so, and I know he's a little out here, but that's okay. Oops. Oh, hey, a bit slow there, but if I don't reinforce it, then the dog's not going to ever work hard to get there. So I'm gonna redo that one. I'm gonna set him up this time to fail a little bit. I'm gonna throw it offline so that when he picks up the dumbbell, he turns around and he's facing the jump. And by the way, this is a vibration collar for anybody wondering. Believe me, look, if you guys don't believe me, I'm firmly against any kind of electric collar. Vibration is okay. Boost. Good vibrations. That's what we do. That's what we do. Yeah, good. Yeah, vibrate, baby. Up. Bring. No. Up. Good job. Yes, that's good work. You see there? I'll do that again tomorrow. He's tired right now. I don't want to put him. Just being tired alone is stress. He'll remember that, and tomorrow I'll finish the lesson. Now it's time to make our send out. So we have some small technical mistakes, but that's to be expected. I don't train 100% to the trial picture, and I don't hold the dog to the trial picture. For this dog, it'll make him too closed if I do that. I have to open him a lot. Push. Go. There's our send out. Boom. Good boy. Woo. Didn't even let go of that one to get the other one. Ah, it's my boy down. I can see he's pooped, he's done. So for me, the way I train with this dog, I know that if I just make trial picture, technically correct, he's gonna become more closed and the exercises will lose power. Whereas if I am always boosting his frustration, if I'm pairing arousal with certain key behaviors, I'm gonna get the most out of him. I'll know sometimes when I walk on the field, like if he's in a state of high level of frustration and arousal, I say, you know what, he has a good energy. I think we're gonna have a really nice routine. Or sometimes he can come on and I'm like, he's a little flat. And with the heat, with a new environment, you have to always take that into consideration. So the way I'm training right now is I'm trying to build a ton of arousal without losing too much technical correctness. And then hopefully by the time we make it to the actual day we do our obedience at nationals, the dog is in a good state of mind and we have that perfect balance between technically correct and arousal and frustration, because that makes a nice picture. That's my plan, that's what I'm doing, and we're gonna see how it turns out, baby. Thanks for watching. If you wanna train with us online, check us out, shieldk9online.com. If you wanna train with us in person, we have multiple brick and mortar locations, shieldk9.ca. Stay tuned. You guys are gonna find out how we do at nationals. Whether we do well, whether we don't, we're gonna put it all out there for you guys to see and you guys to be a part of.